Welcome back to San Antonio for the Spurs, their 7th appearance in the conference final. Dallas making it to the Western Conference final for the first time in 15 years, second time in franchise history. Let's check out the starting lineups for Dallas in the backcourt. Steve Nash and Roger Bell, who has been providing surprising offense. Michael Finley, Rafe LaFrentz, Dirk Nowitzki up front. Dirk Nowitzki coming up with a sensational 7th game against Sacramento this past Saturday night. And here are the Spurs with Tony Parker, Steven Jackson at the guards, Bruce Bowen, who has been a threat from downtown, David Robinson, and the NBA's most valuable player, Tim Duncan. His best game of the Lakers series, but clinching game 6, 37 points, 16 rebounds for Duncan. The officials, Bennett Salvatore, Ron Garrison, and Greg Willard, and we are ready to go.
How long do you think it'll take before Don Nelson makes his first substitution and changes the size of this lineup?
Well, I think it all depends on how they defend Tim Duncan. I think if they can't defend him well, they'll go to more zone. Zone means Sean Bradley to patrol the middle, and then Rafe LaFrentz will be out. And I'd get Van Exel in there, as Don Nelson said. He wants him to play 35-plus minutes, so he'll be in there very soon.
Don Nelson saying he has been our best player, so we want to get him in there. Here is LaFrentz. Rafe LaFrentz over Tim Duncan.
There you go, first pick and roll of the game. You will see numerous pick and rolls, every angle on the floor involving a different combination of people all the time. You've got to figure out a way how you want to play it, and it can't be a steady diet.
Nice play as Parker sets it up for Duncan. Tony Parker able to break it down on the penetration.
And Dallas had a unique matchup. They had Roger Bell on Parker, and they had Steve Nash on Bowen to try to save Nash's fouls and his energy.
Nowitzki puts the move on Bowen and scores.
You see Nowitzki smart enough not to take it all the way into the heart of Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Pulled up short, hit the jumper rather than trying to go strong to the rim.
Once again, Parker penetrates, but knocked it out. Bowen for 3. Oh, he loves that corner three-point shot, and he has been on fire. LaFrentz. Robinson not allowing the shot. Nowitzki for the lead. Finley. Nice pass from Nowitzki, setting it up for the cutting Finley, and the Mavericks up by 1.
Talk about matchups. You've got Tim Duncan playing Roger Bell out there. Normally you think that's unusual. They want to cheat off of Roger Bell and let Tim Duncan help save his fouls for later on in the game.
Wild shot thrown up by Duncan. The 7-footer Nowitzki able to handle, but the pass out of bounds. So the ball back to San Antonio. A live TNT NBA Spanish language feed is now available via SAP. We're just underway. Mavericks with a 6-5 lead on the Spurs. Game 1 of this Western Conference final. Game 2 Wednesday night here in San Antonio. Blocking foul is called on Roger Bell.
And they're different matchups all over the floor. LaFrentz is playing Duncan, Nowitzki guarding Robinson. The problem for San Antonio is because of all these cross matches, how do you get back and get your defense set in transition?
You must have a clear understanding that it doesn't matter who stops the basketball, and it doesn't matter in transition that necessarily it's not your guy. You must pick up open people, you must get back, protect the front of the rim, cut down the constant dribble penetration that Dallas attacks you with.
Well, to look back at playoff history, at least since 1994, the team that won Game 1 in the last 18 conference finals has won the series. And of course, that is just case history.
Dallas lost Game 1 of their last series to Sacramento and rebounded. A lot to do with Weber being out, but certainly came back and played very well in that series.
Michael Finley knocks down a 3. Mavericks 9, the Spurs 7. San Antonio at 60-22 during the regular season. Same record as Dallas. Here's Duncan. Got to go glass and able to hit on the putback. Spurs getting home court advantage by virtue of the second tiebreaker off the steal back from the Spurs. And Parker lost his balance. So the ball back to the Mavericks. Crowd looking for a foul. Allison 60 and 22 during the regular season. Not a good shot by Roger Bell. That second tiebreaker, best record in the conference because these two teams split the season series at 2 apiece. Duncan feeling for LaFrance. Now Parker gives it right back. Bell cheating off, and the foul is called. Tim Duncan drawing the double team. Rafe LaFrance called for that foul.
Repost. That means you throw it in the first time, it gets kicked back out, then you go right back inside again to Duncan. This time he splits the attempted double team by Dallas on the arms. Duncan goes to the line.
And Tim Duncan has had his difficulties at the line during the season. 71%. San Antonio as a team only 73%, 26th in the league.
And what San Antonio wants to do is have a huge free throw discrepancy at the end of the game. They should want to get to the free throw line plus 30. They want to keep Dallas off the line below 20 attempts because Dallas is a jump shooting team.
Remember, during the regular season, 5 more free throws per game for San Antonio than Dallas took, but that's just the regular season.
Here's Nash for 3. The French try to keep it alive. And the outside official, Bennett Salvatore, calling a foul, and players had to be separated. Steven Jackson and Rafe LaFrance had words. The foul was called on Parker. Calming down Rafe LaFrance.
Obviously, the jump shot by Nash. The reason he's going to have to take a lot of those tonight is because they're going underneath the pick and rolls early on. There you see the scramble for the loose ball. Jackson, Roger Bell down on the floor going after it, trying to force the jump ball.
Nick Van Exel checking in, early entry for Nick.
And I think what Don Nelson wanted to do, besides getting Van Exel on the floor, who had such a great series against Sacramento, is to force Duncan to guard Nowitzki. Now this small lineup makes it impossible for them to hide Duncan defensively.
Finley going to Jackson. Michael Finley had problems with that pulled hamstring earlier in the playoffs that has come on in recent games.
Well, Don Nelson told us before Game 7 that he was feeling much better. He could see a marked improvement in his play. He's very confident tonight.
Jackson not able to hit. And Nowitzki handles. Nowitzki way off, got glass, and here's it from the crowd. Game is tied at 11. We played 4 minutes. Pretty feed by Jackson, and Duncan with 8 points here at the start.
That was a beautiful feed because Jackson saw there was no help behind. They tried to front Duncan in the post, and he quickly threw the pass. Duncan did a good job getting his hands up to catch it.
Exel passed on the shot. They swing it to Finley. He's have a hot hand. Back comes Jackson. Jackson directs traffic. He tells Parker to move to the corner. Jackson being played by Van Exel. Try to lead Robinson. It actually deflected off. Oh, the Spurs very fortunate on that possession.
Was that a whip pass that he threw? A whip pass behind the defender's back.
And here's Van Exel right back. You seem to like that terminology that someone used the other night.
It's something I picked up recently in the game that we did.
Timeout is taken by the Spurs with 5 minutes gone by in the first, and San Antonio up by 2.
Of our big 4, we need 1 or 2 guys to come off the bench and give us a special performance tonight. Marv?
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Don Nelson also telling us that Sean Bradley could be a huge factor in this series. LaFrance with the block though right there on Duncan. Rafe LaFrance in the starting lineup once again tonight. LaFrance with the ball and fires. Spurs with a 15-13 lead on the Mavericks as we come up on 6.5 remaining in this first quarter, and away from the ball, a foul on Dallas. It's on LaFrance. Now here comes Sean Bradley. Bradley came up with a strong 18 minutes in Game 7 against the Kings. Saturday night, 7 rebounds, blocked shot. Good job defensively against Bloody Divac. But earlier in the series, Don Nelson reluctant to play him because of the pace of the game. Bradley matched with Robinson. Parker using the pick.
They want a double dribble. That's what Dallas is up hollering about right now. They feel that he used the dribble twice.
Here's Bowen for three. And Nash with the save. And Exel and Nash in the backcourt. Nowitzki, Finley, Bradley on the front line. Finley working hard against Jackson. Nowitzki with a quick release. Second field goal for Nowitzki, and the Mavericks now lead by one. That was from downtown.
First time Nowitzki was on Duncan. Duncan was at the top of the circle running pick and rolls. Now immediately they go right back in the hole. And this is where I feel he should be if Nowitzki's going to play him. Time for fouls on Dirk.
Tim Duncan with 10 points. Fast start for Duncan. So the Spurs lead by one. Nash. And back comes San Antonio. Robinson with the head fake. Slipping it to Duncan, and he's held by Van Exel.
Trying to take advantage of the footwork of Bradley. As soon as Robinson caught it, he put it down on the floor, created a situation where he could drop it off to Tim Duncan.
Duncan found Robinson early. There Robinson found Duncan. They passed the ball as well as any two big men and have played together for so long. They really do a nice job of finding each other.
14th foul committed by Dallas. Manu Ginobili has checked in, as has Malik Rose. Don Nelson telling us he's particularly concerned about the combination of Tim Duncan and Malik Rose. Parker for three. Tony Parker with 5 points. San Antonio has hit 7 of its first 12 from the field, and they lead 20-16. Bradley, crowd was looking for a travel, and Ginobili with the lead. To Parker, overplayed by Van Exel. Can he take advantage? Now he's rejected by Bradley. Now Van Exel chased by Ginobili. Lefty against lefty.
Credit Ginobili for the effort of getting back, changing the shot, saving a basket for his team, because everyone had forgot to cover the backcourt when Tony Parker penetrated in the lane.
Parker gets the screen. Here's Rose. Now Ginobili, played by Nowitzki. The double team on Duncan. Ginobili shoots for three. 8:01 by San Antonio. They are now 3 of 4 from downtown.
And Marv, that was the perfect sequence for San Antonio because they used the entire shot clock.
There's Finley for three. Parker on the open floor. Leads Rose. Whips by Nowitzki. The Spurs 25. The Mavericks 16.
How often do you see Don Nelson stand up and say to his team, slow it down? Doesn't happen very often, but he wants to make sure he gets a high percentage shot this time down.
Well, Nash's shot blocked by Duncan. Parker on the run. 3-on-2. Parker with the teardrop. The Spurs with 12 unanswered, and Don Nelson wants to talk it over.
Talk about depth of a basketball team. Both these teams have tremendous depth, but when Ginobili comes in the game, not only can he beat you off the dribble, but he has the ability to make big three-point shots for this team. And then leading the fast break, Tony Parker knows he's got Malik Rose filling in the left lane. Come right back at a running team with a fast break on your own. And once again, Tony Parker, the little teardrop in the lane for another two in transition.
Parker off to the fast start. 7 points, 3 assists. Tony celebrating his 21st birthday this past Saturday. Born in Belgium, grew up in France. What a game against the Lakers, game 6 in LA. 27 points for Tony Parker.
Well, that little shot that you described as the teardrop in the last transition, that's something he did not have last year. He's worked on it, practices prior to the game. He started to get confidence the second half of the season, and he's used it now on a regular basis.
Mavericks have now missed their last 5 shots. Well-ball run for San Antonio. Here's Duncan. Beautiful turnaround and a quick release by Tim Duncan. So the Spurs with a 29-16 advantage, 14 straight points for San Antonio. The steal by Bowen. He has Ginobili. Ginobili goes right at Van Exel. No call made.
There's got to be a call there. It's either a block, it's a charge, it's something.
No, okay, so you're confused. There was no call made that time. Nothing.
It was Nahara who just checked in, and he draws the foul. The call is made on Malik Rose. Jeff, he's an angry guy.
You know, he's really got to think about how he wants to have that venom. And here we have the pass to Ginobili. That is a charge, but it certainly isn't a no call. And here on the double team, Nara with a great cut. You see San Antonio coming to double team the post from the baseline side. An interesting way to double team the low post. Not many teams do it in that manner.
Nahara only a 68% free throw shooter. Dallas Mavericks, best free throw shooting team in the league at 83%.
Jeff, the reason that you double team from the baseline side, when teams have great perimeter shooters, you don't want them to turn towards the middle and get a look at the open parts of the floor. So by forcing them to turn baseline and then coming and double teaming that way, you take away his vision to the floor.
And Duncan is hacked. So Tim Duncan back to the foul line. The Mavericks have not had any answers for Tim Duncan in this first quarter.
Well, they're going into a zone, and they've got Michael Finley on Tim Duncan, and Duncan sees no double team. He just takes it right to the rim. The problem with the zone defense, if you get the wrong matchup on the initial catch and aren't there to double right away, Duncan's going to live at the free throw line.
Plus, changing personnel all the time, if you're trying to switch defenses, that can be a problem because sometimes the people on the floor aren't in the right positions.
Tim Duncan averaged only 19 a game in the 4 regular season contests against Dallas. Mavericks not noted for their physical play, did play him physically during the regular season and did an effective job in fronting him. Not the case thus far. Duncan with 14 points. It's a 16-1 run for San Antonio. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first. Nahara with a nice move. Eduardo Nahara. And the Spurs now lead 31-19.
One of the big things that San Antonio has done is protect the basketball. Only 1 turnover right now. During the regular season between these two teams, San Antonio averaged 6 more turnovers per game. Those are all fast break opportunities for Dallas.
Shot clock down to 5. Nahara defending on Rose. Ginobili is open for 3. Yes! Manu Ginobili with his second from downtown. And the Spurs have hit 4 of 5 from beyond that three-point line. 34-19, San Antonio. Coming up on 1 minute remaining in the first. And the call away from the ball against the Spurs.
Mark, normally MVP stands for most valuable player. In this series, MVP could mean most valuable piece. And for San Antonio, that piece could be either Malik Rose or Manu Ginobili, because when they come on the floor, it gives San Antonio the ability to be very flexible in their matchups defensively, yet still perform at the offensive end of the floor.
Foul on Ginobili, 14th foul called on San Antonio, and Dirk Nowitzki knocks it down. 7 points for Dirk, 3 of 4 from the floor. Spurs 34, Mavericks 21. Duncan, once again, getting inside. He has 16 points.
Great low post position that time by Tim Duncan. He had Nowitzki pinned. He wasn't going to let him come around and deflect the pass.
Nahara. Duncan with the rebound. Duncan able to handle. Skating Claxton with it. Just came on for Tony Parker. Checking with his head coach, Greg Popovich. 6-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Claxton puts the move on Bell. The tip by Ginobili, and it's a foul. Loose ball foul. Spurs now over the limit. Foul on Ginobili. That is his second.
Ginobili's size is deceiving, and his jumping ability, you see him right there, crashing into Nahara, coming over the back. That's what a loose ball foul is called.
So Michael Finley, or rather Eduardo Nahara to the line. Michael Finley tried.
They tried the old trick there, Marv.
Yep. Finley was in the area along with Nahara as they were going for that loose ball. Nahara, as I mentioned, not a good free throw shooter.
You mean that somebody would try to sneak in and take the free throws instead? No.
Something you can relate to.
No.
Exclusive coverage of the Western Conference Finals will continue right here on TNT on Wednesday with Game 2 between the Mavericks and the Spurs. Coverage starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And Friday, Game 3 as the series moves on to Dallas. Coverage starting at 9 on Friday. And on Sunday, Game 4, our coverage will get underway 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Final seconds of the first quarter. 15-point San Antonio lead. Tony Parker back on the floor. Parker will not count. Offensive foul with 0.6 of a second remaining in the quarter.
See if we can get a look at the defender's feet to see if they're outside the restricted areas. He drives down the lane. Both are clear of the line.
All right, 0.6 of a second. Here's Van Exel. He waited too long. Fires went off the shot clock. Tim Duncan with a huge first quarter. 6 of 9, 16 points. San Antonio, 13 of 21 from the field. Dallas just 9 for 22. Spurs hit 4 or 5 from downtown, and they're up by 13. Off to the fast start, and Tim Duncan has led the way.
Well, there's no question they were going to force the ball into his hands. Matched up against Dirk Nowitzki. He drives baseline, tries to put a foul on the big man. Then in the lane, he seals Nowitzki on his back, and then it's a matter of just laying it in. A nice catch, and then unselfish play to his teammate, David Robinson. Talk about unselfish again versus the double team. Ginobili catches the assist from Tim Duncan. He's 6 for 9, 16 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds in the first quarter.
36 points, as you see, most points in a quarter for the Spurs in the postseason. Dallas started out by hitting their first 4 shots, 5 for 18 since then.
Marv, my observation is Duncan has got to start pulling his weight around here. You know what I mean?
He hasn't been doing very much, you're right. Probably leaving a little doubt whether they should re-sign him when he becomes a free agent. What do you think?
I think they're going to wait and see how this series works out to see if they should re-sign him or not.
Jeff always had those high expectations. And now Nahara taking a shot at defending Duncan. That counts! And the foul!
He doesn't lose his poise when he's being bumped, when he's being shoved, when they're grabbing his arms, when they come and double team him. He concentrates on what he has to get done. You see him again, step through, brings the ball down low, and then elevates it high at the last second and has the beautiful touch at the end and gets the roll. Now he tries to complete the three-point play.
And he does a great job of semi-exposing the ball with his arms, so when people reach down, they hit him, and yet he still has the strength to get it up. Detlef Schrempf was the first guy I ever saw do that. Lead with his arms, draw fouls, and then finish.
I'm going to give you a guy because you're a little bit younger than I am. They used to do it on a regular basis. A little bit younger, yeah, a year or two. John Drew, one of John Drew's strongest moves, driving to the basket, sweeping the arms underneath, getting it across his arm, and then completing the free throw.
Nick Rose called on that foul. Tim Duncan now has 19 points. And Danny Ferry will check in for the first time. He replaces Rose, who just collected his second personal.
And here's the versatility of the Spurs. Perimeter-oriented team in there for Dallas, they bring in Ferry. If they brought in a strong front line with Bradley, Kevin Willis, who played so well against the Lakers to be on the floor.
There's Adrian Griffin coming off the sprained ankle injury. Has not played the last 4 games. Nahara for the contact, foul is called. Nahara hits to the line. Danny Ferry picks up that foul. Don Nelson doing Lots of shuffling, which is not unusual for Don. We're just a minute into the second quarter. And he has a new look out there. Van Exel and Nash remain in the backcourt. It's Nahara with Griffin and Finley.
How many times do you see a team that has to go to a crucial Game 7 opportunity to advance to the Western Conference Finals that just can't seem to find the energy early on in the first half of the next round's first game?
And I think San Antonio's worry was with them defeating the Lakers so soundly in Game 6 because their players feel that they had just accomplished their ultimate goal by slaying the Dragon, and they've come out and responded well.
Steven Jackson with his first field goal. Spurs now lead 41-25. Got a piece of it. Finley not able to get away from Jackson, had to fire one up.
That's what the presence of Tim Duncan back there does to you. Instead of taking it all the way, your tendency is to pull up and try and shoot a jump shot rather than taking one more dribble, turn the corner, and then beat Tim Duncan head up.
Nahara trying to front Duncan and is called for the foul. That's the second. Nahara.
Duncan comes in the post. Nahara's trying to get around in front of him. Duncan again shows good poise. Earlier than that replay, there was a lot of contact, and Duncan's going to get the benefit of that call.
Here's Jackson. And he was fouled. Upset with himself. Not able to finish. Now on Griffin.
Curl action, you'll see him curl off the screen, right down the middle of the lane, and then as the defensive player comes across, he just shoves him hard enough to not allow Steven Jackson to throw it down with two hands.
Steven Jackson, originally a second-round draft pick of Phoenix, out of Kansas Community College, had tryouts with the Grizzlies, the Bulls, played CBA, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, spent some time with the Nets. Well, the NBA Finals will get underway June 4th at 8 o'clock on ABC. You can log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com for an exclusive look ahead of the potential matchups, including a statistical breakdown for all conference finalists. Coming live on NBA.com. This is now the largest lead that the Spurs have had against Dallas in their 5 games this season. During the regular season, they split the 4 games. Claxton called on that foul. And the Spurs with a 43-25 advantage.
And Don Nelson, again, matching up, trying to get a different wrinkle, took out Griffin, who Robinson could match up with, put in Walt Williams, which now forces Greg Popovich to bring in Malik Rose. So he's constantly trying to be in charge of the matchups here. He got Robinson off the floor.
Malik Rose had taken a seat just a moment ago after picking up a second foul. Here's Nash. He's been quiet. Steve Nash with his first field goal. Steve coming off a terrific Game 7 in Sacramento on Sunday night. Jackson for 3. Nowitzki with the rebound. Bowen has done a good job to this point on Exel. Now the switch was made. Claxton playing Van Exel. It's an offensive foul. The basket will not count.
We saw the switch take place by San Antonio. Claxton winds up on Van Exel. Van Exel felt that he's stronger, bigger, can get where he wants to. The problem is he ran through Claxton. Offensive foul.
That's the second on Van Exel. And Claxton and Jackson at the guard with Ferry, Bowen, and Rose up front. Here's Jackson whipping to the corner. Here's Bowen for 3. And the loose ball picked up by Williams, and he is tripped up. Foul on Ferry. Walt Williams upset with Dan Ferry. He thought that Ferry tripped him. And a technical foul handed out to Walt Williams. Danny Ferry is a player who always seems to be in this type of situation, and guys get angry with him. The man sitting in the middle here was part of a particular incident with Danny Ferry and Marcus Camby. See Williams go down. That was not well received by Williams.
Well, that's a great effort play by Danny Ferry. He dove on the floor for the loose ball, inadvertently tripped Williams, and Williams, I don't know what caused the technical foul, but
the technical took place as the official, Bennett Salvador, stepped in between him. He caught Williams like the second part of the comment. Never heard anything from Ferry, didn't see Williams with the first part of it. That's what he heard, that's what he saw, and then Ferry never said anything, so there was no retaliation. So it's one of those things that could have just been let go. It was just a hustle play.
Well, Danny Ferry does a great job of agitating and then looks like he has no idea why a guy would be upset with him. He's perfect with that. Taught to him by the man sitting to my right, an agitator extraordinaire, Mike Exel.
This goes back to his days playing for the Czar with the Cavaliers. Nowitzki had it knocked away. Good play by Claxton.
Danny Ferry, as you know, Jeff, there's always got a guy in practice who can hurt his teammates. He doesn't mean to do it, but that was Danny in practice. Elbow. My assistant coaches prior to the game, when Danny would do his little warm-up routine, they would run away because Danny would nail one of them, not on purpose, but he'd hurt them.
3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. It's all San Antonio. Here's Williams, and he is fouled. Foul on Jackson. That will lead to a timeout. The Spurs 44 and the Mavericks 27 will be back at the SBC Center in the River City in a moment.
Hours, and it was a good initial discussion, and they said, well, what's driving you to come back maybe into coaching? I said, well, you had Fratello in Cleveland, you know. And Gordon Gunn said, yeah, I understand.
There is housing available, by the way, in Cleveland.
Your basement?
Renting?
Rent, purchase.
Speedy Claxton come on for Tony Parker. Claxton and Ginobili in the backcourt with Ferry, Rose, and Jackson up front. Greg Popovich going without the two big men, David Robinson and Tim Duncan. That's a traveling violation.
The ball got caught up on his hip. In essence, it's a carry because he turned it over in his hand. That was the call.
Nowitzki, big play by Ferry. Nowitzki, it counts, and the foul. Foul committed by Ferry. 9 points for Nowitzki, who is headed to the line.
It was just a matter of time before Dallas was going to try and take Ferry down in the low post. They're bigger, stronger. No double team comes. Ferry exposed to obviously a player that's more powerful down there. So Ferry sits down, and now the return of Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
And that's 3 on Ferry within 3 minutes. Let's go to Sharon.
Thanks a lot, Marvel. Out of that last timeout, Coach Nelson emphasizing on the defensive end on all pick and rolls. Let's make sure we force the guards to the left side of the floor. That's what he feels that the Spurs are weakest at. Also, let's make sure we start getting stops and try to string a couple of them together, guys.
All right, San Antonio has led by as many as 18. Jackson for 3. And they have that lead back up to 15. Michael Finley is double-teamed. Tim Duncan looking for a traveling violation, but it's a foul. Manu Ginobili, that's 3 on Ginobili.
San Antonio can't understand where the foul comes from. The lob pass over the top. David Robinson there immediately, and in essence, Finley trips. When he turns in, he trips over the feet of the stationary Spurs player. They all feel it's a travel. Unfortunately, they didn't have the whistle.
San Antonio is over the foul limit. Ginobili will sit down, replaced by Bowen. Michael Finley averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, had another outstanding season. At one point earlier in the year, missed 13 games due to a sprained hamstring, and the injury affected him in the Portland playoff series, averaged just 13 a game, but he came on against Sacramento. Here's Robinson working his way inside. Nice move by Leandro, his second field goal.
That would be a huge advantage for San Antonio if they could throw the ball on a regular basis to Robinson versus Nowitzki and get some scores out of it.
Nowitzki passed on the three, trying to dump it off. Duncan on the intercept and pops it down, intended for Jackson, but the ball back to Dallas.
Remember, one of the keys, they must keep their turnovers to a minimum. That time by Nash jumping in front of Duncan. Duncan was so worried about picking up an offensive foul, he threw it out of bounds.
Czar only 4 turnovers, but 2 in the last minute and a half committed by the Spurs. LaFrentz kicks it out. Finley gets the screen. Here's Finley. Dallas only 11 of 27 from the field, or 40%. And Duncan puts the move on LaFrentz, a holding foul. Second foul committed by Rafe LaFrentz.
Marv, an interesting stat that jumps out at you. During the regular season, Dallas averaged 11 shots more per game than San Antonio did. But by San Antonio taking care of the basketball and playing outstanding defense and not giving up many second shot opportunities, it's exactly even right now, 27 field goal attempts for each team.
And with Bradley coming back in, expect Dallas to go to more zone defense. San Antonio's handled it very well so far.
Jackson. And Bradley pulls down the rebound. 15-point San Antonio lead. And Exel for 3. Exel still looking to find the range. Robinson being guarded by Nowitzki. Let's see how Duncan handles Bradley. Steps around him and draws the foul. Tim Duncan back to the line.
How many fouls has Duncan drawn on his own? He is assaulting the basket. Here he faces up Bradley. Bradley's trying to force him to go baseline. He just uses his quickness to blow by him and draw another foul. Single-handedly, Duncan is getting the bigs of Dallas into foul trouble.
And that's why, Jeff, when Bradley's not in the game, they front Duncan all the time. They want to take away the ability of him to catch it, back to the basket, and either create for other people or score. But with Bradley on the floor, they match Bradley up against him. Bradley plays behind him, and you saw just then what happens.
And Duncan hitting his free throw, 6 for 7 at the line. Robinson tried to draw the foul. Braxton got a piece of it. Duncan is fouled again. Good look from Bowen. He saw Duncan at position and was able to find him. Nash tried to help out, is called for the foul.
Beautiful job of Tim Duncan running the floor hard, getting great post-up position in transition, and then his teammates finding him and delivering the pass on time, so there's no 3-second call and the defense doesn't have a chance to get there and double team him that quickly.
Reminder, tomorrow on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, it's Game 2 between the Nets and the Pistons. Nets won the opener yesterday on that last-second fadeaway jumper by Jason Kidd. Game 3 will be Thursday on ABC coverage beginning at 8 o'clock with the NBA Draft Lottery.
Just how Byron Scott drew it up, dribbled to the corner, threw it falling out of bounds over the top of 0-4, and his teammate who was chasing it from behind and splashed it in.
Call that'll put Finley up the line. And both teams are now over the foul limit. John Jackson, his second. A timeout taken, 5:43 remaining in this first half. San Antonio 50 and Dallas 34. When the NBA-ABA merger took place in June of 1976, San Antonio joined the NBA along with Denver, Indiana, and the Nets. It's been a very successful franchise here in San Antonio.
They really had some great talent on those San Antonio ABA teams. Really great talent. They were a fast break, high-scoring bunch, and the people were very, very supportive back in the ABA days.
Michael Finley able to convert, and the Spurs now lead by 14. Tim Duncan with 20 points in this first half. And we still have 5.5 minutes remaining. Robinson and Nowitzki coming together. Shot clock down to 6. They converge on Duncan. He was looking for, and found Bowen. Here's Claxton. And Nash able to get to that loose ball.
Good zone that time by Dallas coming out of it when the lob was over the top. The second man was there to help right away on Duncan.
Nash for 3. Steve Nash from downtown. Mavericks now 3 of 6. Three-point shooting.
And Mark, because of Dallas's great shooting, no deficit is too big for them to overcome. And because they shoot a lot of jump shots, so too do they give up some leads as well.
Foul on Nowitzki, that is his first. Greg Popovich telling us earlier that he's so uncomfortable facing a team like Dallas. As you see the hack on Nowitzki. He said it's like you're hanging on for dear life so they don't score 150 points and you just never know.
With great shooting teams, you almost get to the mindset that when they let the ball go, you assume that it's going in. And when you have that many players on a team that can make shots the way Dallas does, it's a nightmare for a coaching staff to try and figure out exactly what the correct game plan is.
And in last series, Greg Popovich wanted to speed his team up against the Lakers, so they didn't go against the Lakers half-court defense. And yet in this series, he doesn't want them playing at that pace against Dallas because that plays into Dallas's hands.
Finley for 3. And suddenly, the Mavericks hitting their shots.
But you know, Jeff, going back to that first quarter, because of the good defense and long rebounds, San Antonio was able to get out and push the ball back at them in transition and got some easy baskets as a result.
Finley picks it off. Nowitzki challenged by Robinson. That changed the shot. San Antonio's lead is down to 10. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
David Robinson did a great job of protecting Tony Parker's back that time because the lob pass was over Parker's head.
Here's Bowen. And he was fouled. And that's not a good foul. You do not want to foul Bruce Bowen on a mid-range jump shot. Foul on Nash, his second.
Nash trying to rotate to him. The right arm of Nash hits the right elbow of Bowen. It was a correct call by the official.
Bowen only a 40% free throw shooter.
They might employ the hack-a-Bruce late in this game. He's on the floor, yeah.
He's done it against San Antonio. Done it against Duncan and Bowen. Dallas within 10. Nowitzki. And he is fouled. San Antonio looking for an offensive foul. It is on Duncan. That is his first.
Try to watch Nowitzki's left arm. Does he push off, ward off the defensive play? You see him there protecting it so that Robinson can't get to the block shot. That's why San Antonio feels it should have been called an offensive foul.
Nowitzki in the regular season averaged 27 a game against the Spurs. Open ground against Portland. 30 points a game and dropped off against Sacramento, but came up big Saturday night, game 7. Dallas not getting anything from Nick Van Exel. Steve Nash has been quiet, yet here they are, down by only 9. They trailed by as many as 18. Now an 8-point game.
Slowly, they've worked their way back in. Remember we said, game 1, coming off a tough 7-game series. That team that's just finished up the series sometimes has a tough time getting started in the first half.
And they just fouled Bruce Bowen. They substituted Adrian Griffin, had him grab Bowen, and put him to the line. Now, this is unusual early in a game, but if Don Nelson wants to bring this deficit back to a manageable number at halftime, it's interesting strategy.
Well, it puts the pressure on Bowen also as he hits on the first. Here's another look at it.
And we spoke about it here on the left side of the floor. There is the foul. And again, Don Nelson wants to force Greg Popovich's hand. Does he now have to take Bowen out and take his best perimeter defender off the floor, or does he keep him in there and allow him to shoot free throw after free throw?
In particular, at the end of the game, if it's a close game, you have decisions to make. Bowen and Duncan, although Duncan has been shooting the free throws very well here in the first half.
The free throws stopped short that time, and again, we see a foul in the backcourt. Jeff's Bowen taking effect here.
But this is unusually early.
Bowen coming down the floor. The orders are foul right away. There you see Griffin put the foul on him.
Bowen only a 40% free throw shooter during the season. San Antonio started out 10 for 10 at the line. Since then, 5 of 11. Bowen is 2 for 5. Well, Bowen hits on both. And you wonder if this will change the thoughts of Don Nelson.
But the other thing it does is it allows Tim Duncan to guard Adrian Griffin, who's the designated fouler, which allows Duncan not to have to put himself in harm's way, foul-wise.
Finley not able to hit from downtown, and a foul against the Spurs. Both teams are over. So Nowitzki is headed back to the line, but first, a timeout. 11-point San Antonio lead as we take a look at the Riverwalk here in San Antonio. So the Spurs with a 55-44 lead. Dirk Nowitzki to the line. San Antonio without a field goal the last 5 minutes of play. Now this quarter, both teams have combined for 19 field goals attempted and 27 free throws attempted. Lots of whistles. Don Nelson continues to put Bruce Bowen at the line because he is a poor free throw shooter. And here we go.
And if it's a free throw shooting contest, Dallas will win that. They've already got 17 free throw attempts Dallas has. This is going to be the 23rd and 24th attempt for San Antonio. San Antonio's 2 greatest weaknesses in the regular season was their free throw shooting percentage and their turnovers.
You know, Jeff, what we have to mention is right now, I know people are sitting there wondering, why doesn't he substitute for Bowen? Because the guy that would be in here right now would be Ginobili. But Ginobili has 3 personal fouls on him, so Popovich cannot afford to have him go out on the floor and pick up his 4th foul, so he's riding it out right now.
And Bowen now 4 of 8 from the line. Have you ever seen a coach pull this early?
I never have, but Don Nelson has a lot of expendable parts. He wanted to get this lead cut down, and if Bowen can't knock in a shot from the free throw line, which I don't understand because he's such a good three-point shooter, it makes sense on Don Nelson's part.
Nash had a force, and back comes Parker around Nash. Went behind the back, and it cost. Finley for Van Exel, sweeping by Jackson. So the Mavericks are within 7 after trailing by as many has 18. Let's see how, well, timeout is called. Thought I would say, let's see how Don Nelson plays it on this possession.
How he was playing it was Finley was on his way over to foul him right away again. And what's happened is finally Dallas was able to capitalize and get a score, because the last couple of times you see them run the fast break and Van Exel with the finish. The last couple of times that they fouled Bowen and he did not convert the free throws, they did not come down and score, so they didn't get an advantage out of it. But this time they take advantage of it.
For more on this strategy, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Coach Popovich told Bruce Bowen, don't be deterred by the strategy. Play tough defense, just play your game. Don't let them get into your head. Don Nelson is not the only one that has used the strategy of fouling Bruce Bowen. George Karl of Milwaukee also did it this year.
All right, thanks, Craig. It's a 14-5 run by the Mavs to move within 7.
And what the fouling can do to the entire to the entire Spurs team is take them out of rhythm offensively, even when Bowen is not on the floor.
They just fouled him as he went to step back on the floor on the inbounds pass. They fouled him immediately. And Jeff, that's a great observation, because that's the key thing. Every time they foul, you'll see the pass come in. Here he comes on. He's waiting. He's waiting. He fouls him out of bounds,
Which is perfectly legal.
I think if Bruce went up into the stands, he'd be chased out and fouled.
The only answer, now some may question what Don Nelson is doing. Is it right for the game? His job as a coach is to give his team the best chance to win. The one response that San Antonio, the one recourse is Bruce Bowen, step up there and knock those free throws down just like he just did.
Could you play Steve Smith in his spot right now? Could you give the veteran Steve Smith those minutes?
You could, but I wouldn't want Bruce Bowen off the floor and let Nick Van Exel get free and loose.
Now that was not a foul that Bowen wanted to give, as that sends Van Exel to the line. Bowen is now 5 for 10 at the free throw line. Bruce upset with himself for putting Van Exel at the line. A reminder coming up on the Verizon Wireless halftime report. We've got the entire crew right here in San Antonio. A look at the set, which is high above SBC Center. Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, Patrick Johnson, all on hand, and they'll take it at halftime.
Ernie decked out in his tangerine shirt tonight. Looked very sharp back in the makeup room tonight. Very sharp.
Very Sager-like, I might add.
They may be shopping together. You never know.
Just under 2 to go in the half. Now Howard trying to defend on Duncan. Well, Tim Duncan banks it home. 22 points for Duncan. And the first field goal for San Antonio in quite some time. They now lead by 9. They went 6 minutes without a bucket. Miscommunication on the part of the Mavericks gives it back to the Spurs.
Dick Van Exel trying to be unselfish. Nash figured he had an open jumper. Nash was heading in to pass the offensive boards.
Hawker accelerates, dumps it off to Duncan. 24 for Tim Duncan.
And what all that fouling did was take the crowd out of it. Now they don't foul 2 straight possessions, score, and get the crowd back into the game.
Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki going right to left with a nice move with the left hand. Spurs 61, Mavericks 52.
And David Robinson just a little late reacting to Nowitzki. He should have come across the lane to protect a little bit sooner that time.
Nowitzki has 16 to lead Dallas. Here's Bowen for 3. Yes! Well, he can hit from downtown. He led the NBA in three-point shooting at 44%. Here's Nash right back for 3. Spurs 64, Mavericks 55 with a half minute left in this first half. What is different about Dallas tonight? 0 fast break points after running up and down the floor. Game 7 against Sacramento. It's been a different story here thus far this evening. And Duncan is fouled.
Bennett Salvatore is going to clean up the post play. Nahara getting very, very physical with him. Bennett Salvatore doesn't want this to get out of hand. And like we said earlier, Duncan has done a very, very good job actually of controlling his demeanor, not getting bent out of shape the way Nahara's been playing him.
That was number 3 on Nahara. And Duncan, 6 of 9 from the line. San Antonio, 19 for 27 at the free throw line. A high number of free throws in this first half. Dallas, 18 for 19. There's Danny Ferry coming on for David Robinson. Walt Williams is back for the Mavs. 13 seconds remaining in this first half. Robinson with 6 points. Mavericks set up for final shot of the half. Spurs lead by 11. They're down to 5. And Nash was fouled by Claxton.
Claxton came in, replaced Tony Parker. Nash goes right at him, trying to turn the corner. The officials felt a little too much contact that time on the baseline.
Both teams have been over the limit for a long stretch in the second quarter.
Oh, that's a real tough call, Marv. You have the offensive player fighting to turn the corner. The defensive man is trying to move his feet, and no one's really extending an arm to get an advantage on that.
Shuffling continues. Roger Bell, Adrian Griffin check in. There's an excellent Williams. Offensive, defensive maneuvering by Don Nelson. Final seconds of the half. There's Parker. So a first half that saw 26 fouls called in that second quarter alone. Tim Duncan with 26 to lead the Spurs. Dirk Nowitzki with 16 for Dallas. But of note, Don Nelson sending Bruce Bowen to the foul line on a number of occasions late in the second quarter. Let's go to Craig with Bruce Bowen.
Well, Bruce, the team went 6 minutes without a field goal. Don Nelson electing to put you on the free throw line. How frustrating is that for you as a player?
Well, it's not frustrating as a player. You know, as a coach, you look at my statistics this year, you know, he's doing the right thing, so to speak. But, you know, as me as a player, I just got to step up and make the shot. If I make the shot, then it's not a game that they can play like that.
You led the NBA in three-point field goal percentage this year. Why can you make a shot from 23 feet 9 inches and have so much trouble shooting just 40% from an uncontested 15-footer?
Well, if I had the answer, maybe I wouldn't shoot as bad as I do. But it's a matter of just playing the game, and I got to get better at it.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to Marv.
All right, thank you, Craig. Well, Bowen with 11 points, 2 of 4 from the field, and 5 for 10 from the line. In a moment, the Verizon Wireless halftime report with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic. Spurs up by 9 at the half. 43% from the field for the Mavericks, only 16 of 37, 20 of 21 at the line. As I mentioned, the Spurs 61%, 20 for 28 at the foul line. San Antonio hit 6 of 9 from downtown, and Dallas 5 for 10. Tony Parker, Stephen Jackson at the guards, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Bruce Bowen up front. Jackson rejected by Bradley. Shot clock down to 4. Here's Parker over Bradley. And the quickness of Tony Parker coming up with that loose ball.
And right there you saw Bradley's effect starting the second half. Blocked one shot, altered the other.
Nice touch pass from Duncan, and Robinson will go to the line.
They got themselves set. I'm talking about San Antonio to play against the zone that time. They got themselves a second shot opportunity with Parker's hustle. They set themselves up. They went high-low, Duncan to Robinson, attacking the zone.
Foul committed by Nowitzki. That's his second. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Greg Popovich did not spend as much time talking about the hack-a-shack on Bowen as we did. He simply told Bruce Bowen, you're playing great defense. You knocked down 5 out of 10. You got 11 points. You're playing a great game. His point was, do not get into a foul contest with them. He said, just because they foul us, don't foul them. Dallas was 17 of 17 from the free throw line in the second quarter.
Craig will look for Don Nelson, Coach Nelson in the second half to change up the low post cover. Going to plan C. They're going to come after Tim Duncan extremely hard, aggressively, lots of traps. They're going to take their chances on the Spurs perimeter plays. And as you can see, Sean Bradley is starting because they felt that he was more effective during the regular season against San Antonio. Mark?
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Here's Duncan. So the Spurs lead at 68-59. Hurting at the free throw line. They have hit only 10 of their last 20. That has been a major problem area despite the 60 wins in the regular season. Nash. Bradley missed on the... And a foul is called. That's a foul on Bradley, his second.
You'll see clearly as the ball hits the rim and over the back. Easy one for the officials to call. Bradley, intent concentrating on the ball, forgets that there happens to be a body underneath him.
Steven Jackson for 3. And Bradley able to one-hand that rebound. Outside official, Bennett Salvatore makes the call. Bennett working with Ron Garrettson and Greg Willett. It's on Bowen, his second. A host of fouls have been called. 21 on Dallas, 18 on San Antonio.
Well, Craig mentioned, Craig Sager, that they were 17 for 17, the Mavericks, in the foul line in the second quarter. Remember, they are the #1 free throw shooting team in the NBA at 83% for the regular season.
Foul on Robinson. Nash not able to get to that pass. It was deflected. Here's Jackson booting the ball and then recovers. Spurs reset. Nowitzki fighting his way through, but Bowen gets to it and scores. Bowen went to the left hand against Bradley. Jackson off the steal. Sloppy play here by Dallas. Bowen is open for 3. Nowitzki with Bradley and Bell on the front line. Nash and Finley in the backcourt. Here's Roger Bell, who has not been able to find the range tonight. Bradley goes down. He's fouled by Robinson.
This time, instead of Bradley doing the damage to Robinson, it's Robinson that reaches in and puts Bradley down for the count.
Don Nelson going to Nick Van Exel early in the third quarter, replaces Roger Bell. Nash. And Bradley took another shot. Foul on the Spurs. It's on Bowen. That's his third.
On the long rebound as it kicks off the rim, you see right there Bowen trying to get underneath Bradley and put a body on him, winds up undercutting him, and then there's the left hand in the face by David Robinson as well.
14th foul in a hurry on the Spurs. Nowitzki rebounded by Parker. He's hit by Nash.
And this game has a very unsettled effect going on right now because of the fouling that ended the first half with Bowen. Every foul is being contested by both teams. Both teams appear agitated and a little bit frustrated because there was no flow or rhythm at the end of the first or the start of the second.
Kind of like Mark breaks our flow and rhythm every so often.
Shot clock to 6. Parker, yes. 72-59 San Antonio. The Game 1 of the best of 7 Western Conference Final. Game 2 Wednesday night here in San Antonio. Finley, 16 points for Michael Finley.
Stephen Jackson never got a hand up to challenge a shot. He faked he was going underneath his legs to undercut him. You got to get a hand up to the ball and challenge him.
Open shot for Jackson, rebounded by Nowitzki. Nowitzki, yes. Dirk Nowitzki with 20. Mavericks once again with a 9.
The most indefensible shot in basketball is the pull-up jumper off the dribble. There, Nowitzki, 2 hard dribbles to his left. Duncan had to retreat. Nowitzki had space to knock it in.
Nowitzki tried to keep it away, and it's a goaltend. The basket will count.
Dallas questioning who tapped the ball while it was up there. You see Bradley get it. Bradley saying Duncan had it first, that it was in the cylinder when Tim Duncan tipped it.
Duncan gets credit for that field goal. He now has 30 points. Finley is fouled. San Antonio now over the foul limit. Jackson called for his third, so 3 apiece on Jackson, Bowen, Rose, and Ginobili. A look at the Dallas rundown. 3 on Nash, 3 on Naharan, and Griffin. Exclusive coverage of these Western Conference Finals will continue right here on TNT Wednesday, Game 2, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Friday, Game 3, the series moving on to Dallas. Coverage starting at 9. On Sunday, Game 4 right here on TNT starting 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Western Conference Final Series exclusively here on TNT. Meanwhile, the Mavericks have now hit on their last 22 free throw attempts. Robinson gets inside, and he is fouled.
They really pass well to one another because they're constantly looking for one another. Duncan again finding Robinson on the high-low entry pass, and Robinson doing a good job wheeling into the basket and forcing Nowitzki to foul.
So are you saying that these 2 big men are better passers than, let's say, Divac and Weber?
I would say Divac and Weber are the 2 best in combination, but not to one another. They're great passers, but I think Robinson and Duncan look to one another better than even Weber and Divac. Remember, they look for perimeter players on top.
Is this like a special category to
yes,
one another?
It's a subcategory.
That sounded like a czar answer.
When you're stumped, just keep talking. That's the czar way.
Finley to the fadeaway. So the Spurs now lead 75-67. Just under 6.5 remaining in the third quarter. Jackson to the left hand. Once again, Sean Bradley changed the shot. And Exel has not been able to get going. Nowitzki for 3. Duncan handles. There's the exchange between Duncan and Robinson. And it leads to an offensive foul. Bradley hits the deck. Sean Bradley will need a cut man momentarily. The foul was called on Duncan. His second is going to work out for Sean Bradley. Crunched on the offensive foul by Tim Duncan.
Mother Judy is the most proud, but she's not the only one here from Houston and Port Arthur, Texas. 36 others came by bus and by car.
Advice from Mom, shoot the ball.
It's usually that way. You never hear a mom say, pass it, or you got to guard Finley better.
Michael Finley has come up with a big ball game. 20 points for Finley. Holding foul on Rose, that's 4. On Rose with an 8 minutes of playing time.
Malik Rose trying to get his body into the man he's guarding, who's Nowitzki, crashes into the smaller guard. That's a point guard setting a screen for the power forward.
And Nash is a lot like John Stockton, a great screener. There he forced Rose to make the contact, and right now, San Antonio can't try to play Dallas physically. They're in the penalty. 5 minutes and 42 seconds left. You cannot afford to put the Mavericks consistently on the line. They've got to play with quick feet and active feet, but not with their bodies.
Nowitzki 7 of 7 at the line. He's an 88% free throw shooter, and the free throws have helped the Mavericks get back into it. Down by as many as 18. They're within 6. 5.5 to go in the third.
Spurs attacking the zone that Dallas is playing right now.
Here's Parker. Tony Parker shooting over the zone, hitting from downtown.
Don Nelson is saying we're in the zone. We hope they shoot some perimeter shots. They miss, we can run out and fast break. If you're head coach Popovich, you're saying nice shot, Tony Parker. Just like Nash splashed that one down. The perimeter shots going down help destroy the zone.
Nash showing some signs. He now has 12 after the slow start. There's Parker again for 3.
But that's 2 straight possessions where the ball didn't touch Tim Duncan's hands in the low post.
Nowitzki serving up a facial. And a technical foul. It's on Greg Popovich. Ron Garrettson handing out the technical. Greg saying, what for? Nash converts on the technical, and Dallas 25 of 26 at the line.
Nowitzki's going to make sure that no one goes up and blocks this one. He goes in there hard and throws that thing down, gets to the rim before Duncan can come over and try and block it. He likes it.
It is down to a 4-point San Antonio lead. Ginobili has checked back in. Ginobili and Parker now in the backcourt. Ferry, Bowen, Duncan up front. Shot clock to 6. Parker off the dribble. Ginobili for 3. Bradley diving for it. And it's a jump ball. Sean Bradley has done a nice job here tonight.
Key is, does he have an effect on the game? You see, Ginobili has to loft it up there because the shot clock's about to go off. Bradley gets on the floor, they immediately tie him up, so Bowen jumps against Sean Bradley.
Bradley has attempted only 1 shot, but he's hauled down 7 rebounds in his 12 minutes, and he has been altering shots.
And the zone defense that the Mavericks play when he's on the floor is disconcerting. It's hard to get shots close to the basket. All San Antonio's had right now is 3-point shots.
Foul on Ferry. So the parade to the free throw line continues. That's 4 on Danny Ferry. Dirk Nowitzki will shoot 2 more.
Mark, that's just what Jeff was saying, that with 5:42 remaining in this quarter, already San Antonio was in a bonus situation as far as committing too many fouls. So every silly foul after that, Dallas picks up points. That was one of them.
And the crowd reacts because Greg Popovich is about to send on Kevin Willis for the first time tonight. Kevin Willis done a nice job off the bench for the Spurs. He's come on now for Danny Ferry. Kevin is 40 years old in his 19th NBA season. Signed as a free agent, played for the Rockets last year. Originally drafted by Atlanta back in 1984. Played for Lazard with the Hawks.
And Willis is a very effective player still, but he is very physical. He's going to have to make sure he doesn't needlessly foul at the defensive end of the floor.
Here's Parker again for 3. And Duncan with the rebound. It's a 2-point game, just under 4 remaining in the third. San Antonio leading by just 2. Parker once again not able to hit from downtown. Dallas has come from 18 back. Finley is fouled. A reach-in is called on Parker, his third. Well, Michael Finley will go to the line.
Well, back in the beginning of the season, way back in December, San Antonio 16 points down. They made their way back in and eventually won that game, which was here in this building. Tonight we see Dallas getting that first half out of the way, now getting their act back together here.
Michael Finley, 86% free throw shooter. Dallas spending lots of time at the line in this third quarter. This their ninth free throw coming up, and they are 29 for 30 from the line.
Mark, San Antonio's got to do two things. Get their poise back on the defensive end without fouling, and out of the double team of Duncan, they've got to get a good balance between shooting it and driving the ball to the rim.
It counts, and the foul. What a pass from Duncan to slip it to Willis.
First of all, Kevin Willis has very small hands. This is a tough pass to handle in traffic. But somehow Duncan sees the opening. Willis is able to find the handle, and while he's being fouled, catch it and finish it. That's a very, very difficult thing for Kevin, who really, for a 7-footer, has short arms, small feet, and small hands.
Willis only a 61% free throw shooter. Foul on Van Exel, his third. So San Antonio back to a 2-point lead. Look out, guys jumping, and they did get back, so the free throw counts. Don Nelson was looking for a lane violation.
But it's different than college. If you can get back out of the lane before the shot's taken, then you're legal and you're fine.
Nash for Bradley. Traveling violation.
Kevin Willis went up. Luckily, Bradley ducked his head, or he might be decapitated right now.
3 minutes remaining in the third. San Antonio with a 3-point lead. Here's Ginobili passing on the three, and he's fouled by Bradley.
And Marv, on that possession, San Antonio made a great adjustment. They started driving the ball instead of shooting the semi-open three-point shot.
A timeout called with 2:48 remaining in the third. Spurs with a 3-point lead here in the River City. Time Coach of the Year, Don Nelson. Head coach, general manager of the Mavericks, two of the best coaches in the game. Greg Popovich was an assistant coach under Don Nelson with the Golden State Warriors from 1992 through 1994. And Popovich left the Warriors to become the Spurs general manager. Don Nelson, only the third coach in the history of the NBA to win at least 1,000 games. The other two, Lenny Wilkins, Pat Riley.
Kind of interesting decision for Popovich was Jerry Tarkanian was on his way in to take over the spot in San Antonio. Tarkanian comes in and offers the video coordinator position to Greg Popovich, who'd like to be our film guy. Just then, Don Nelson, who never really knew Greg Popovich, but watched him from afar work with players prior to the game, so he did a great job, called him up, brought him out, sat with him for 2 or 3 hours, talked basketball, offered him a job.
Steve Nash able to knock it down. Since then, Popovich and Nelson have had a very close relationship.
And it was funny when he said, we're still great friends, but I'll never do a deal with him because he always tries to fleece the other guy. So that was a funny exchange today.
And Parker extends to the 85-80 lead. Yes, Popovich talking about Nelson, not trusting Don wheeling and dealing. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Nowitzki called for the offensive foul. That is number 4 on Dirk Nowitzki.
Nelson saying there was no contact, that Parker just went down on his own. We'll see if Nowitzki's right arm does the damage and pushes him away. There's that right elbow. When you're a 7-footer, weighing about 250. When you hit a point guard, that's probably 175 pounds.
There's the teardrop by Parker. And he's come a long way with that shot, and this is second NBA season.
That is such a difficult shot, and you have to have great touch, just like Parker did. Hit the front rim and then got the friendly roll.
And Exel pulls up for three. Nick Van Exel from downtown, and now the Spurs have to be concerned that Van Exel can get on a roll. That's his first three. He has not been able to find the range. 87-83, San Antonio. Willis, air ball, offered up by Kevin Willis. We're approaching 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Van Exel. Bradley able to snatch the rebound. Here's Nowitzki. Way off, got glass.
Ginobili did a great job of running at Nowitzki. He saw him open behind the three-point line. He got out there, got a hand up to challenge him that time.
And the problem with doubling off Bradley is he's a very good offensive rebounder.
Hit hard by Willis. Kevin Willis getting position to slap it down. San Antonio with an 89-83 lead. So Kevin Willis has come off the bench and has provided a spark. Finley rebounded by Ginobili. And he pulls it back. There's a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock as this third quarter winds down. You see Parker checking with Popovich. Ginobili with a crossover. Ginobili fires. Throws the foul. And here's it from this crowd.
You have got to love this dribble move on this dribble handoff exchange. Watch the dribble move Ginobili puts on the defender. As soon as the handoff takes place, boom, behind the back, change direction. A little tape on Nash's ankles right now will probably help him between quarters.
Foul committed by Bradley, number 4. Manu Ginobili, who has an impact at least 3 of the games against the Lakers, particularly the first 2 here in San Antonio. Manu, a standout with Argentina's national team. One of the best players in the Italian league. Kevin Willis hearing the cheers as he heads back to the bench with 7 seconds left in this third quarter. 8-point lead for the Spurs. Nash has to hurry, finding LeBron. The Spurs turn it on with a 13-5 run to end the third quarter. Tony Parker, 9 of his 16 here in the third. The high point man, Tim Duncan with 30, along with 12 rebounds and 7 assists. Dirk Nowitzki with 26, but picked up a 4th foul. We're headed to the 4th in game 1 of this Western Conference final series. 15,000 on hand. He has become a cult figure throughout the NBA. Here's a look at tonight's Levasil lessons in footwork.
This is a move that players have picked up over the last couple of years. It's a step-back jump shot. Watch how Steve Nash creates space by moving into the defensive player, then stepping back to clear a little room to then get the high arcing jump shot to fall. Some fancy footwork, some fancy Levasil footwork by Steve Nash.
What are you talking about?
Hey, and Mark, I should be famous here. I got out-coached in that 99 finals. I helped them win their first championship, so good to see my fans in the Spurland are still active and helpful.
You just never know where that'll pop up.
Yes.
Fourth quarter is underway. Van Exel, LaFrentz missed on the follow, and then Paxton took it out of his hand. Spurs in the lockout season, defeating the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals in 5. And this fourth quarter opens up with a whistle, yet another foul. There it is, the 1999 World Champion San Antonio Spurs. LaFrentz picked up that foul as third.
Could have put Jeff's face where that basketball was.
You know, every time I come in here, I almost want to scale this place and just rip that thing down. But I'm not bitter.
See, that's a bad two. Here's Ginobili. Nash. And he is fouled. He's bumped on the play. So Nash will go to the line. Fouled by Duncan, his third.
Beautiful pass by Nick Van Exel off the dribble. Perhaps an extra step in there, but it's still going to enable Nash to get to the free throw line and shoot two.
Eduardo Nahara missed the first free throw attempt of the night by Dallas early in the first quarter. Since then, they have hit 30 in a row. And as Lazar mentioned earlier, during the regular season, they shot 83% from the line to lead the league. In fact, that's the second best percentage in the history of the NBA, just a shade behind the Boston Celtics of 1989-90. Three Maverick players shot better than 86% from the line. Duncan running a glass off balance, and back come the Mavericks. Spurs lead by 6. We're just getting started here in the fourth quarter. Walt Williams being played by Tim Duncan. Trying to lob it for LaFrentz. Ginobili picked up on a switch by LaFrentz. Finding Willis. How about Kevin Willis off the bench for 7 points?
A beautiful step in that time by Willis. The defense committed to the roll man. Beautiful look in the pocket by Ginobili.
8-point San Antonio lead. Ginobili having Claxton on a hop, but he threw it back out. And then Duncan able to knock it down, leading to a Dallas timeout. 32 points for Tim Duncan.
Take a look at Ginobili, comes off the pick and roll. He fakes one way, throws opposite. Kevin Willis with the finish. Blow him up to allow his defender to get back to him.
At one point, the score tied at 78. Since then, Mavericks just 2 for 9 for the field, and they've turned it over 3 times. Williams off the fake. Rebounded by Willis.
And Mark, I love that Greg Popovich did not downsize his team when Don Nelson went small with Walt Williams at the 4. Keep Willis on the floor and stay big.
What a pass from Ginobili to set it up for the cutting Duncan.
He knew that Tim Duncan was going to be following to the basket, threw a little wraparound pass back where he thought Duncan should be, and he was there.
Nowitzki draws the foul. Nowitzki taking it to the rim is hit by Kevin Willis.
There's the screen. Ginobili knows exactly where the big man's supposed to be, puts the ball right there. Good hands, good finish by Duncan.
Nowitzki is 9 for 9 at the line. Mavericks have hit their last 31 free throws. A programming reminder tomorrow on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Game 2 of the Nets and the Pistons from the Palace of Auburn Hills. Nets taking game 1 yesterday on that last second shot by Jason Kidd. Game 3 is Thursday on ABC. Coverage beginning 8 o'clock with the NBA Draft Lottery Thursday night.
Mark, one of Greg Popovich's big keys defensively was not to foul Dallas. They've already got to the free throw line 34 times. He's going to be very unhappy with that after the game.
3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. It's Duncan working on Bradley and draws the foul. Sean Bradley called for his fifth. Duncan is 8 of 11 at the line. First free throws of this second half. Rafe LaFrentz will replace Sean Bradley. Last All-Texas Western Conference final, 1995. Rockets beat the Spurs in 6 to San Antonio. Their 7th appearance in the conference finals, actually back in 1979. They were in the East and lost to Washington. It was a lopsided map of the United States. San Antonio and the Eastern Conference. Finley draws the double, and it's picked off by Claxton. 3-on-2 for the Spurs. Willis! And back comes Nowitzki. Claxton with the steal from behind. Claxton took his eye off the ball, but able to recover. Look out, Duncan taken down. Foul on Roger Bell.
That was some sequence right there. Speedy Claxton anticipates the pass and steal. You can start the fast break. Willis then misses a dunk. Beautiful pass to the trailer. Willis is trying to figure out how that can happen. That's those short arms I told you about. But then Claxton with a hustle play comes right back and gets the ball back again for his team.
San Antonio with their 9th steal of the night. Here's Ginobili for 3. Willis with the rebound. Willis, yes!
Mark, I'll tell you, I love when guys stay ready. He doesn't play much the whole year, and when they needed him against the Lakers, he was ready. When they needed him tonight, he was ready.
Kevin Willis averaged just about 12 minutes per game this year for San Antonio, but he has been a great addition for them. He gives them a veteran guy at the end of the bench. He comes in, as you said, ready. He keeps himself in incredible shape physically. Kevin Willis is a great addition to this basketball team. Think about the 3 guys at the end of the bench for them. You're talking about Steve Smith, Danny Ferry, Kevin Willis, veteran guys, been around a long time, great work ethic, good people, solid citizens on the team.
9 points, 4 rebounds in 8 minutes for Willis. Here's that Exel firing one up through the foul. It's on Claxton. The correction is Bowen called for the foul. That's number 4 on Bowen. So Van Exel to the line. He's 2 for 2 at the line. It is 11 p.m. here in San Antonio, Marvell, with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy. We've got the full crew going. Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller. And the studio guys on hand, Ernie, with Kenny, Charles, and Magic. They'll be with us following our game coverage. San Antonio led by as many as 18 in the first half. Dallas got back into it. They did tie the game. They had a lead briefly, but that was back in the first quarter. Spurs have led virtually all the way, and they now lead at 101-89 with just under 8 remaining in the fourth. On the turnover, back comes Van Exel. Nahara kicks it out to Nowitzki. Yes, Dirk Nowitzki with 30 points, 9 for 15 from the field. 11 of 11 from the line.
Next change with Dallas. Don Nelson is taking his defense and extended the defense, try to put a little pressure on San Antonio in the backcourt.
Foul committed by Bell. So both teams will be in the penalty on their next foul. Here's Bowen, sits down. Manu Ginobili makes his return.
And you wonder if Greg Popovich took him out to get Ginobili back in, or afraid that they were about to go back to the fouling of Bruce Bowen and breaking their rhythm and momentum.
For those who may have just joined us, that took place the final 3.5 minutes of the first half, with Nelson having his players purposely foul Bowen, who is only a 40% free throw shooter. He went to the line 8 times and hit 5. Van Exel, Willis with the one-hand rebound. Shot clock to 7. Jackson lost it. Here comes Nash. Nash working hard on Claxton. And a defensive 3-second violation. Technical foul. An automatic tee. Another trip to the line for the Mavs. Nash 5 for 5 at the line. Mavericks have hit 36 straight at the foul line. Roger Bell will sit down. Michael Finley is back. 6.5 remaining in the fourth. 9-point San Antonio lead. Van Exel. Nahara kept it alive. They have the new shot clock. Finley for 3. Nahara with another rebound. Here's Finley from downtown. And away from the ball, a foul. Duncan shoved the screener, Nahara.
Yep, Tim Duncan put his hands right in the chest of Nahara, pushed him as he went to go out and challenge the jump shooter. Nahara went down. A foul. Look at the lower left-hand corner. You see Duncan trying to get out to the shooter. That's where the shove takes place.
Number 4 on Duncan. Here's David Robinson coming on for Kevin Willis. In 10 minutes, 9 points and 5 rebounds for Willis.
That's great productivity. He's only, what, 40 years old, Mark?
You know what's interesting? A lot of players you see as they get older, they just don't have the same athleticism. And I'm sure he's lost a little bit, but you really can't tell that he's lost very much from when he was 35 or even 30. It's really incredible.
Dallas with a 7-0 run, and they're within 7. 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Game 1 of this Western Conference Final Series. Game 2 here on Wednesday. We'll have it for you exclusively on TNT. Ginobili from downtown. Duncan reaching and a foul. A loose ball foul on Duncan, and that is number 5. And Greg Popovich looking to keep Duncan away from the official Bennett Salvatore. Now Stephen Jackson is there. Duncan wanted an explanation as to why he was called for that foul. Tim Duncan has played all but 2 minutes tonight. He'll take a seat right here.
As Duncan rolls in, it's a long rebound that goes over the head of Nowitzki. Nowitzki, you see him lunge forward, but was that him acting or was it a hard shove in the back? That's what Duncan's questioning.
Emotions running high here in San Antonio.
Players to equal Garnett's salary to make the deal work.
It does.
How you like that deal, Jeff?
I'd do it.
Checking with Craig Sager.
Well, Coach Popovich told his team during that timeout, adjust to the officials. If they're going to call everything, attack the basket. On offense, every time we have the ball, attack the basket, get them in foul trouble, put them on the bench. Meanwhile, defensively, lay back and stop fouling Dallas.
All right, thanks, Craig. Meanwhile, the Mavericks have now hit 40 straight at the line. Nowitzki is 13 for 13. It's a 5-point San Antonio lead. Malik Rose has come on for Tim Duncan, who just sat down after picking up number 5. Finley on the rebound.
Well, remember what Jeff said. Bowen is on the bench, perhaps the reason being that Greg Popovich doesn't want them to foul him on purpose. So the best defender for the Spurs is sitting down right now while the game is getting closer.
And think about it, Greg Popovich said, attack the basket. Malik Rose, isolated in that last possession, chose to shoot the 15-foot jumper instead of putting the ball on the floor to attack.
9 unanswered points by the Mavericks. Nowitzki with the rebound. And Exel draws the foul. Nick Van Exel with the head fake. Malik Rose went right for it. And Rose picks up number 5.
We're going to give him 3 free throw attempts. Let's watch his feet to see when he took off. Was he inside the 3-point line? Fake, steps underneath. I would say that he should not get 3 free throws on that. He should be getting 2 free throws, not 3.
That's definitely a 2-shot foul. But I also don't like that you can dive into somebody without actually really trying to shoot the ball. To me, that's an offensive foul or no call, but it's certainly not a foul on the defender.
I know you were away from us for a while, but we did have a game early where I felt the same way, that the offensive guy intentionally jumped to his right-hand side, way over to the right, just to force the contact by the defender. I think it's that defender's space to challenge and go by.
Lazard coming clean, admitting that he agreed on that point.
And where does San Antonio go for offense right now with Duncan out?
And the foul called on Nash. That is his 4th. Both teams over the limit. Spurs now lead by 2. Malik Rose to the line. A 79% free throw shooter. Mavericks have now hit 43 straight at the line. That is amazing. And we're checking the record books. That could be a postseason record for consecutive successful free throws.
And Jeff, again, we see that ugly head stepping up. The missed free throws. One of the 2 problem areas that we talked about for San Antonio was missing foul shots. Right now, just 29 to 41.
12-1 run by the Mavericks. 10 of those 12 points have come at the foul line. Nowitzki off the dribble. He was looking for a foul. And Nash is hurt. He's down at the other end of the court. And a San Antonio player is down. There's Parker. Yes. Looks like Malik Rose shaken up.
And they don't want to foul because that would put him to the line.
Here's Nowitzki.
And that's dangerous.
And the crowd booing because Nowitzki went in his direction, in Malik Rose's direction. And the foul was called on Ginobili, number 5.
Go back and take a look, Marvin, exactly what happened if we can see it. Rose comes over. He's hit right there. The knee to the back of the head is what takes place. Nahara's knee hits Malik Rose in the back of the head. This is not intentional by any means, but it does happen.
That's what the fans are booing as Nowitzki on the drive nearly stepped on Rose. And actually, well, he did step on it.
But that's not his fault. San Antonio decided not to foul, so on the drive they had to keep playing, and unfortunately, Rose got stepped on.
By as many as 18, and Dirk Nowitzki back at the line where he's hit 13 of 13. Mavericks have now connected on 44 consecutive free throws. The team record 45 straight. Back in April of '85. And that equals a franchise record. 45 in a row. Dallas 16 for 16 at the line in the fourth quarter. Only 1 of 10 from the field, but they have moved within 3. Ginobili got the step and scores. It counts and the foul.
It's those long, slow strides that get Ginobili across the lane, and his ability to hang in the air, bring the ball down, back up again, draw contact, make the play, finish it off, and now go to the line to try and make it a three-point play for the San Antonio Spurs.
And just as importantly, Bradley fouls out, which takes away Dallas's best zone defender.
Sean Bradley played 16 minutes. Did not score, hold down 8 rebounds. Ginobili is 4 for 4 from the line. 106-101 San Antonio, just under 4 remaining in the fourth.
Well, you know what's incredible? Because Dallas is primarily a jump shooting team, during the course of the regular season, Nash took a little floater up off the glass. During the regular season, Mark, they were 26th. Right at the bottom of the NBA in free throws attempted. They took about 22 a game. They had 46 attempts tonight.
Team that does not go to the line frequently, but when they do, they hit their shots. Here's Duncan, yes. Tim Duncan going glass. He now has 38. Nash again. So the Spurs lead 108-105. Now Duncan is playing with 5 fouls as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth.
And that's why he's been late to help. The last 2 penetrations by Nash, he cannot risk fouling out.
And Duncan is fouled. Ahara called for number 5.
One of the keys was to try and keep your body in front of Nash, where you see Parker trailing him from behind. And again, now Ferry steps out the hedge, but he doesn't hold it long enough. Again, Nash turns the corner on Parker. Duncan late coming. One of their keys was that they had to try and keep the ball in front of them. Talking about San Antonio's defense, the last 2 times that Nash has come down, they have not been able to do it.
Duncan now 10 of 14 at the line. Tim Duncan misses on both. 3-point Spurs lead. And Exel getting the pick and fires. Chased down by Duncan. And he's fouled by Nahara. That is number 6. And Ronald Nahara joining Sean Bradley on the Dallas bench.
This is just hustle, trying to go after it, but you get there, you're working a little bit too hard. That hand on the back probably wasn't really enough to send Duncan out of bounds, but the official saw him put his hand. He saw Duncan land on the out-of-bounds line. There is no more force out. It's got to be a foul. It's a foul or it's a turnover, 1 of the 2.
Nahara played 14 minutes, 9 points. Primarily doing it at the line where he's 7 of 8. Spurs now lead by 4. Who will get the first pick in the NBA draft? Well, you can catch the draft lottery Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. Then following the lottery, log on to NBA.com or AmericaKeywordNBA.com to chat with a representative from the NBA Draft Lottery winning team. Coming up on 2.5 to go in the fourth. Spurs by 5. Finley fouled by Jackson. Many whistles here tonight. 35 fouls called on the Spurs, 35 on the Mavericks. For an update on the status of Malik Rose, let's check in with Craig.
Omar, Dr. David Schmidt, the team physician from the San Antonio Spurs, is with Malik Rose right now back in the locker room. He thinks that he possibly suffered a slight concussion, but he did not lose consciousness. Right now it appears he will be okay. That's the word from the Spurs, but they are checking out his vision and also some of his vital signs to see if he did suffer a concussion. But the news is right now he does not need the stretcher. He's not going to the hospital. It appears that he will be all right.
All right, thank you, Craig. Michael Finley cuts the San Antonio lead to 3. That's a franchise record 46 straight free throws for the Dallas Mavericks. Out of 2:20 remaining in the fourth. Eddie Ferry is back. Tony Parker puts the move on Rafe LaFrentz. Rebounded by Nowitzki. Nowitzki met by Ferry. Gets the step and scores. Dirk Nowitzki. Blowing by Danny Ferry.
And Mark, you may be asking, why is Ferry in the game instead of Willis? Well, Duncan's got 5 fouls. They don't want a big guarding Nowitzki on the floor. They don't want Duncan to have to guard him where he could pick up his 6th. But it takes San Antonio out of a normal flow of rhythm.
1-point lead for the Spurs. Here's Ferry. Can he get it back? Rebounded by Nash. And the Mavericks with a chance to take the lead after trailing by as many as 18. Here's Nowitzki on the pull-up. Rebounded by Duncan. A minute and a half to go. In this fourth quarter, you saw Parker check with the head coach, Greg Popovich. Duncan being fronted by LaFrentz. Duncan playing with the 5 fouls. They collapse on Duncan. Shot clock to 5. Here's Parker with the step. Rebounded by Nowitzki. And again, the Mavericks with a chance to take the lead. Both teams over the foul limit. Now Finley takes a timeout. 57 seconds to go in the fourth, and 13 on the shot clock. A 20-second timeout called by Dallas.
Excellent timeout by Finley. He knew they were in trouble. He took it quickly. Now they can set up a play.
And if I am San Antonio right here, I substitute Bruce Bowen for Danny Ferry, get my stop, and on the rebound, I take a timeout and get my better free throw shooters or better offensive players back on the floor. But remember, under 2 minutes to go, you cannot intentionally foul Bowen without the ball.
Because they get 1 foul shot. Anybody can shoot it that they want, and they get the ball back again.
Dallas with 2 timeouts remaining. San Antonio 2 and a 20. Dirk Nowitzki as a follow-up to his magnificent game in Game 7 against Sacramento. 36 points, playing with the 4 fouls. And Tim Duncan with a 40-point performance. He has 5 fouls. He has equaled his career playoff high with the 40 points.
Jeff, the only thing now with Bowen, if the ball's in his hands and you foul him, then it's not the ball out and, on the side after he shoots, then it's a regular foul.
13 on the shot clock. And Exel puts the move on Ginobili. The tip by LaFrentz. And Ginobili calls for time.
There it is, Jeff, just like you called it. They took the timeout. Now they can make their substitution if they want to bring someone else back in for Bowen.
49 seconds to go in the fourth. San Antonio by 1. Feeling in both arms. Very scary for Malik Rose and the Spurs, but apparently he is all right. Down to 40 seconds to go in the fourth. 12 on the shot clock. Jackson. Now Parker met by Finley. Shot clock to 5. Parker forces. Rebounded by Nowitzki. There's a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So Dallas in possession, trailing by 1. Finley around Jackson. Finley has given the Mavericks a 1-point lead, and the Spurs call for time.
Don Nelson had talked about it in the last timeout. If we get a stop and get a possession, we're not taking a timeout. We're going to push it back at him and see what we have coming back. What they had is Finley one-on-one against Jackson, makes the conversion at the front of the rim.
I am not allowing him to shoot to win. I'm going to make him earn it at the free throw line.
This is the first time the Mavericks have led since midway through the first quarter when they were up 16-15. They have a 20-second remaining to the Spurs, but they get it in. We're down to 10. Duncan going at Nowitzki. Duncan comes up short. He was looking for a foul. And with 4 seconds to go in this fourth quarter, the foul called on the Spurs. It's on Ginobili. That is number 6.
You know you're going to get the ball to your best player. You have confidence in him that he's going to produce at this particular time. As Duncan turns into the basket, he felt there was some contact. That angle didn't look like there was any. Tim Duncan can't believe that a foul wasn't called, but it looked like it was a good no call by the official.
And now Dirk Nowitzki will go to the line. He's 15 for 15 at the line, 6 for 6 in this fourth quarter, 88% on the season. The Mavericks have been just incredible at the line. They have hit 48 straight, a franchise record. They missed the very first. That was Al-Hara in the early moments, and then have reeled off 48 in a row. It's a 2-point lead. San Antonio with 1 timeout remaining. They have a 20 left, and they will take it right here.
Remember, with this 20-second timeout, they can advance the ball up over half court. They take it out at the 28-foot marker. They play from there down 3 points with 4 seconds remaining.
And if I'm Dallas, and I work for Coach Nelson, I do not believe he's going to allow them a 3-point shot. I believe he'll do foul on the San Antonio kid to prevent any chance that San Antonio can tie the game up.
Well, when you've made 49 out of 50 free throw attempts, what you're saying is you have a little bit of confidence that after you foul them and they go to the line and make 2, you have to inbound the ball and they're going to foul you automatically, and you're probably going to make yours.
Plus, San Antonio has no more timeouts left, so after you go and shoot your 2 free throws, they have no chance to advance the ball back up the floor except with the dribble.
So you maybe could even miss your second, depending how much time is left.
Exactly. Good point.
Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, is next. Lots to talk about. And the guys are all here. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic. 4 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Dallas with a miraculous comeback. Down by as many as 18. And they have done it primarily at the foul line. They have not hit their shots. They're only 40% from the field, 29 of 72. And now the Mavericks will talk it over. They'll use a timeout. This will be a full timeout, so we'll take a break. We'll be back in San Antonio in a moment. Antonio took a 20 a moment ago, so they are out of timeouts. 4 seconds remaining. Dallas up by 3. The Mavericks with a 26-9 spurt. San Antonio led 101-87 on a Kevin Willis field goal, and since then they've been outscored 26-9.
Well, the question comes up, why would your best 3-point shooter, Bowen, be on the bench? The answer probably is, as Jeff said, as soon as he touched the ball, Dallas would probably foul him intentionally, put him on the line to shoot the free throws.
Remember, against the Lakers in Game 5, San Antonio here at home collapsed in the fourth quarter. Lakers came very close to pulling that out, and that has taken place here tonight.
Remember, the passer is a very good 3-point shooter. If you turn your head, Ferry will step back in for a shot. You've got to get it in now. No timeouts left.
Ferry can't find anyone, and now flips it in. Duncan is fouled by Van Exel. And it is called before the shot attempt because he was in 3-point territory, but Van Exel got to him quickly, so only 2 free throws for Duncan with 2.7 remaining.
This was all talked about in the timeout. Don Nelson said foul him right away. If they catch it, don't give him a chance to shoot. Van Exel gets it before Duncan can even attempt to get in that shooting motion.
And Duncan's got to make the first one so he can miss the second one. And San Antonio, you can use their great size and strength to try to get a second attempt.
He's 12 for 17 at the line.
And now he has to miss, and they have to tip it out to the three-point line. So what I would suspect is that another three-point shooter may be coming back into the game for San Antonio, but these are situations it's hard to plan for.
There's Jackson and Hawker out deep. Fires it off the rim. And it is tipped, but Nash is able to get to it. In a stunner, the Dallas Mavericks come from an 18-point deficit to defeat the San Antonio Spurs and take game one of this Western Conference Final. Dirk Nowitzki, 38 points, 15 rebounds, 15 for 15 at the line. And let's go to Cheryl with Dirk.
Well, Dirk, Steve Nash said this game was about survival. You survived the great first half by Tim Duncan. You survived being down 18 points. Terrific still, game one.
Yeah, you know what? We knew they're not going to make every shot. You know, they were terrific in the first half. They were making shots from all over the court, and we knew they're not going to continue like that. And we just kept hanging around, and we gave ourselves a chance to be in the ball game at the end of the game.
You know, in game 7, you had a terrific game, solid. Another solid game tonight. It just really seems that you found your comfort zone and your rhythm now.
Yeah, you know, my teammates keep looking for me, and they keep guarding me with a bigger guy, so that gets my perimeter game a little going, taking me off the dribble, and it was working well today.
Have you ever been in a game where so many free throw shots were put out tonight?
Not really. You know, we did the hack of Bowen a little bit in the first half, and it didn't really work that well, but, you know, we won the game and move on.
Game 2 is Wednesday. Can you steal another one?
Well, we got to go for it. You know, we got to leave it all out there and give the same effort.
You got to be greedy.
Of course, you know, none of that free swing anymore. We got to go for it.
All right, congratulations. Let's send it back to you, Marv.
Yes, Dirk had referred to the so-called free swing in the Sacramento series. You have to want to take every game on the visiting court. So his attitude has changed. Our statistician, Brian Taylor, pointing out that Dallas led for only 67 seconds of tonight's game. Led by Nowitzki with 38. Finley had 26, Nash with 22. Tim Duncan equaled his career playoff high with 40 points along with 15 rebounds. And Manu Ginobili with 12 points. Again, the final. The Mavericks 113, the Spurs 110. Dallas comes back from an 18-point deficit. Thanks to our producer, Scooter Bertino, and our director, Bernardo Lowe, and the rest of our crew. For the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, and Cheryl Miller. This is Marv Albert saying goodnight from the SBC Center. NASCAR's Race for the Championship returns July 3rd on TNT. I just like to throw that in there every once in a while. We'll take a short break, and then it's on to Ernie and the rest of the crew for Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai.